Coming up on this episode of Coordinated.
But here's the thing. The only recommended prerequisite for AP-CSP is actually, Derek, can you guess?
All right, you're totally putting me on the spot here. Greetings, AP coordinators, and welcome to Season 6 of Coordinated.
Thanks for joining us as we get ready for this year's AP exam administration.
Our goal? Help AP coordinators create the optimal testing experience for AP students.
And that means we have a lot to cover.
Derek Cometa, former AP coordinator, now director, AP coordinator experience for the AP program.
And I'm Rachel McBride, AP coordinator and school counselor at Mayfield High School. Welcome to the podcast for AP coordinators.
Welcome to Coordinated.
Hey everyone, Marcy Ewing here, counselor and AP coordinator. Happy to share an all-new opportunity with everyone. It's called Chat with a Coordinator. Here's what you can do. Schedule a video chat with an experienced AP coordinator over Zoom. This all-new series of real-time support is created specifically for AP coordinators. Review checklists, benefit from shared best practices, and design optimal testing experiences for your AP students. So, chat with a coordinator and feel confident about the 2022 AP exam administration. Limited time slots are available. We'll put a link in the show notes. Register now, and I just might see you there.
Hey, Rachel. Before we start our conversation today, we have some exciting news to share.
That's right, Derek. It's an add-on to what our friend Marcy just shared about Chat with a Coordinator, and I'm super excited.
So, breaking news. You and I, Rachel, are making a special appearance on Chat with a Coordinator. The date? March 4th, 2022.
It's more than an appearance, Derek. We're going to co-host all 4 Chat with a Coordinator sessions that day. All 4 sessions, Derek.
That's correct. 4 straight hours of Derek and Rachel over Zoom. So, if you want to meet Rachel and I,
we'd love to meet you as well. Just visit collegeboard.org/AP coordinator training.
Again, that's collegeboard.org/AP coordinator training. We'll put a link in the show notes as well.
Then register for a Chat with a Coordinator session on March 4th to join us.
Once again, that's March 4th. We'd love to see you there.
Season 6, Episode 5, AP Computer Science Principles.
Hello, everyone. We have a special episode today and a special guest today. Today, we're talking about an AP course that is increasingly popular with schools, one that some AP coordinators are familiar with, and others are interested in learning more about. We're talking AP Computer Science Principles, and we're talking to my friend and colleague in AP, Executive Director Maureen Reyes. Hey, Maureen.
Hey, Derek. Thanks for having me on the show. It's really exciting to reach out to so many AP coordinators today.
So, Maureen, if it's okay with you, let's do 2 things today. One, let's have you share some information about AP Computer Science Principles with everyone. And 2, let's talk about the AP coordinator's role related to quote-unquote CSP. Today, we'll say AP CSP or CSP pretty often, and when we do, we're referring to AP Computer Science Principles.
We are, and that sounds good to me. So first, let's talk about AP CSP and why schools are adopting it. AP CSP was launched several years ago, and at the time, AP had an existing computer science course, and still does, called AP Computer Science A. It's a course that focuses on Java programming, and it's a deep dive into programming. But the National Science Foundation approached us and said, we'd like to see a course that offers a broad introduction to computer science. They believed, and it's proven true, that schools could bring more students and a more diverse set of students into computer science if students could see how computer science impacts the world around them and how students can use computer science to influence the world around them. So it's a course that provides a broader context for students to understand how computer science is impacting them every single day. And also, they use the course to reach students who are traditionally underrepresented in computer science. And oh, by the way, prepare students for the job market of today and tomorrow.
That goal of better preparing students for the job market, that's a powerful one. In fact, if I remember correctly, you said recently that computer and information technology occupations are projected to grow much faster than the average for all occupations.
Yes, that's right. So the latest job projections forecast an expected growth of 11% by 2029. That's somewhere in the range of 500,000 new jobs in computer and information technology. And Derek, no surprise here, on average, computer science majors earn about 40% more than other college majors. So not only are there more jobs projected in computer science and technology, but on average, those jobs are earning a higher income too.
AP coordinators like to plan, and I think this is helping AP students plan for the future. I like it. So more employment opportunities and a higher income potential, a great combination.
For sure. So it's no surprise that AP CSP has been very popular since launch, and the number of students taking AP CSP has been increasing every year. And even better news, the course is attracting students who are traditionally underrepresented in computer science, because remember, that's a primary goal for the course as well. So just some numbers. To date, 4 times as many female students participate in computer science since the launch of AP CSP, 4 times as many rural students, and 5 times as many Black students, which, all of which is incredible. So the good news is that schools like offering AP CSP and students like taking AP CSP.
Maureen, if you don't mind, I'd like to jump in with a quick question because this all sounds great. It sounds good to me. I'm curious, though, what grade level is CSP usually offered? If schools are interested in adding the course, where does it fit in the academic plan?
Great question. So this is what we say, right? So what we know is that students are taking AP CSP in every grade. And ultimately, educators know what I'm about to say is true, right? Educators know their students best. So they know when their students are going to be ready for an AP course. But here's the thing. The only recommended prerequisite for AP CSP is actually, Derek, can you guess?
All right. You're totally putting me on the spot here. Okay. I do know it's not computer programming. I know programming is specifically not required for CSP. So knowing that, I'm going to guess, I don't know, a math class? Maybe?
You're on the right track, Derek. The only recommended prerequisite for AP CSP is Algebra 1. So students who have successfully completed Algebra 1 are ready to take AP CSP. They don't need any prior computer science knowledge or experience before this course, and that was intentional to remove all barriers to students taking it. This course was designed for students who do not have any previous computer science experience.
Great. Okay, so that is some great background on why schools may want to consider adopting AP-CSP and when to offer it. Can you also tell us a little about the course itself? Maybe just a few highlights.
Sure. So in AP-CSP, students, of course, are learning computer programming. They're also learning other interesting things like how the internet works. They get to see the broad context for computer science and all the ways computer science is impacting their lives. So they're learning about computing innovations and both the positive and negative impacts of those innovations. And students are also learning to creatively solve problems and how to collaborate. And Derek, Teachers get to choose whatever programming language they want to teach. This is the question we hear all the time. What programming language do students have to learn? And the answer is whichever programming language the teacher or school wants to teach.
That is a common question, so that's good to know schools have that flexibility. Thanks for clarifying.
And as part of the assessment, students submit their work in the programming language they choose. So speaking about the assessment, I should mention the end of course exam is slightly different from other AP exams. There is, of course, the end of year multiple choice exam, but there's also a through course performance task that students complete.
Okay, so hearing you say that, what does APCSP mean for the AP coordinator in terms of support for teachers and students?
Great. So the APCSP exam has, as I mentioned, 2 parts. So the multiple choice exam consists of 70 multiple choice questions. It makes up 70% of a student's final AP score, and students are given 2 hours to complete it. So students sit for 2 hours and they take a multiple choice exam at the end of the year.
Okay, so that sounds like something AP coordinators are likely familiar with, an exam proctored at school on a scheduled date and time during the first 2 weeks of May. It would be one of the shorter exams, though, since it's only 2 hours.
Right. And this is how CSP is a little different. The other piece of the AP exam score for CSP is the create performance task, and that accounts for 30% of the student's score. So teachers allow for at least 12 hours of in-class time for students to complete this performance task. So it's okay if students don't have computers at home. The course was built intentionally so that computers at home and internet access at home is not a barrier. So they do the performance task in class, and there's a designated 12 hours in class time to allow them to do that.
And what's the AP coordinator's role with that performance task?
It's pretty minimal. AP coordinators should monitor the activity in the digital portfolio and verify that the Create Performance task is submitted. You want to ensure that students hit the final submit button when ready, which will take them through a few attestations that they need to complete to submit their performance task. So the deadline for this year for submission for the performance task is May 2nd, 2022 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So remember that it's Eastern Time. So you want to encourage students to submit earlier because you know students love to wait until the last minute. So please encourage your students to submit earlier than the deadline.
Great. That sounds good. And Maureen, where can AP coordinators go? Where can school leaders go if they want more information about APCSP and potentially offering it to their students?
Good question. There's a webpage available specifically for bringing APCSP to your school, and there's a separate page with more information, including research and the data that we spoke about earlier.
Excellent. We will put a link to both of those web pages in the show notes. And to wrap things up, I found a quote from a student who responded to one of our surveys, and I'd like to read it if that's okay, Maureen.
Oh, I love this quote. Please do.
Okay, so this is from a student named Catherine. Catherine said, prior to taking APCSP, I felt computer science would be boring. It was for boys. It was weird, full of just video games, and definitely would not be part of my future if I had a choice. Ultimately, I chose to take APCSP because it would allow me to not have to take any computer science in college. A year later, I've transformed into a completely different person who is interested in pursuing computer science in college, and I was inspired to create a computer science club for middle school girls in my community. This AP class honestly changed my life.
So that, for me is everything. Educators know this is why you do what you do. Teachers, AP coordinators, please help students hit the start button, especially those students who never thought computer science would be for them. CSP creates that opportunity for students to see computer science as part of their future, and they're really excited about it.
Coordinated is recorded, produced, and engineered by Derek Cometa. Derek also co-authors the show, along with Kimberly Casey and Rachel McBride. Audio review by Elisa Aloyo, Dale Glazer, and Tierra Pinto. Our executive producer is Edward Biederman. Podcast logo, courtesy of the amazingly talented Amy O. Amy is enjoying her senior year at Savannah Arts Academy. We thank Jackie Ray for our theme song, Good as Gold. Jackie is a former AP Music Theory student at Oakton High School. Additional vocal support by myself, Carly Suge, AP Coordinator at Costa Mesa High School in Southern California.
Special thanks to all my colleagues in the AP program for supporting our show. And AP coordinators, we cannot say it enough. Thank you. We appreciate you, and for all your support of AP students, you are truly good as gold.
And maybe I just don't know. I'll say it over and over and over again till I believe it's so. I'm good as gold.